What's up, everybody? It's me, Bryson Booker, and I am talking, and you could not see my face, but that's okay because my face is not important at the moment. Right now, I'm talking into the Behringer UMC 22 audio interface from Behringer, featuring one premium Midas mic preamp, as well as another regular quarter-inch jack for your guitars and keyboards and such. So here is the unit. Obviously it's much brighter because I put it in the light because it's so dark. But here is the unit itself. It's a very, very simple unit. So you actually have two inputs. You have the first one being your microphone slash, it's a combo connector. So it's an XLR slash quarter-inch connector. So this is your Midas preamp that has either your microphone, you can put a microphone in here, or you can run direct from a keyboard, so you can put a line level source in here like a keyboard or a guitar or things like that. So a line level source can go in there as well. And then input 2 is just quarter-inch, so that's only for plugging in a guitar or a keyboard or a drum machine, whatever you want to plug in there. The second input, I don't know if that has the Midas pre, but the first one, I'm definitely sure it has a Midas pre because right there you have the level for it. It says Midas at the top. The second one, I think, is either just a normal stock Behringer pre or it may be the Midas pre. I haven't really tested both of those inputs to see if this one has the Midas pre, but the first one definitely does. And then you have, again, a volume for your second input. Alright, that's much better. And then you have a direct monitor button, so you can either monitor from the back, the two outputs on the back, which I'll show you in a minute, or this front headphone jack, and then you have a level control for that. And then you have an indicator to let you know that phantom power as well as your power for the unit is on. And it's pretty simple. It's a metal box, guys, so it's built pretty rugged. This is a metal box. I think the interface for $30 is all plastic. So if that doesn't tell you about the durability of this, you'll definitely get more life out of this than you would from the other unit. On the back here is pretty simple. You have 48 volt power or phantom power on or off, so that's literally just a switch. You can turn it on or off for phantom power. And then you have your two monitor outputs. So you can hook up a pair of studio monitors to this and run those studio monitors from this unit right there. And so that direct monitor button that we saw on the front allows you to switch from your headphones or to your speakers. And then you have your USB output, which currently it's plugged into my laptop because the only way this gets power is through a USB output. I kind of wish that Behringer would have gave you a power adapter. So if you wanted to use this, you know, let's just say you have like a DJ gig or something and you don't want to bring a mixer, and it's like, well, maybe I can just use this little interface. You know, it gives me one microphone input and then one input for my MP3, whatever. Or you just had this simple karaoke party, or you wanted to take the premium sound of these Midas pre's live with you, or just on the go wherever you want to go with it. You can't really do that. You literally have to have a computer to power it. Although, I think on the next model up, I think the UMC 22 or something, I get these models confused, guys, so forgive me. But on the next model that has two Midas microphone pre's, that I think comes with an external power adapter, and it also comes with a pad. That's the other thing that you don't get on this model. You don't get a pad. And so what a pad does is when you use a line level source, such as a keyboard or a guitar, sometimes it gives you some extra information from that instrument and from that source that will kind of overload the microphone preamp. And so what the pad does is kind of limits that extra volume from causing distortion on your recording and eventually damaging your interface. Well, this unit does not give you a pad, so if you're going to use a guitar or you're going to use a keyboard in this thing, you got to watch your volume on the guitar itself, as well as how hard you push this preamp, because it will distort and it will sound bad. Though this is a Midas preamp, and Midas is famous for their musical sounding pre's when they're really driven hard, this one doesn't really give you that musical drive like, you know, real Midas pre's will give you. It will distort and it will sound bad. And so that's because, again, part of the reason because they didn't put a pad on this unit. But if you get the next unit up that comes with 2 Midas pre's, you get pads. And so one of the problems I was having when I was using this with my mixing console to do some live recording on an analog board, because that analog board did not have a USB output, it was an Allen and Heath Mix Wizard. So I had to run this from an auxiliary SIN and go into my computer to do some live recording. But anyway, when I used this unit, I was kind of having to play with the volume on my console as well as the volume on this preamp to make sure that it wouldn't distort on certain peaks that happen throughout the performance. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to have to control the amount of volume you send through this, because you don't really get a hot preamp. You don't get much gain out of it. You're only going to get so much gain out of this preamp. And with that being said, if you work under the preamp's limits, you're going to get some good sound out of it. Obviously, Midas is famous. Midas, if you don't know about Midas, it's a famous console manufacturer. They're from England, and I think they came out in 1970 or 1971 with the first Midas console. And for a long time, guys, they were an exclusive console manufacturer. Only the big guys had them. And they would be out on world tours. They would make mixing consoles for world tours, concerts. Some of their famous models, especially in the 90s. When they got in the 90s, that was kind of like their golden age for mixing consoles. But in the 90s, they released such famous consoles as the XL3, the XL4, the Heritage, the Venice series of their first cost-effective, quote, mixing consoles. And they are renowned guys for quality and sound quality. They have very sweet and very warm sounding preamps. They are the sound that me, as a live sound engineer, long to hear. And now, since Behringer has taken them under their wing, under its wing, I mean, Midas is now available to a whole new generation of engineers and music artists and producers than it had been almost 20 years ago, when it was still exclusive to big touring companies like Clair Brothers and Shoko. Now, the average person like myself can own a piece of Midas history. And the same can be said about those who own the M32 and M32R and Pro 2. They still have the same Midas quality, though some may be skeptical because they see that logo. Don't let this logo make you sad. They've gotten better. Much better. Not super duper better, but a lot better than they were 10, 20 years ago. And they really did a nice job on this preamp. Yes, it has some Behringer quirks, because, I mean, they had to keep the cost down somehow, guys. That's what Behringer has always done. They've always been great at cutting costs. But here recently, they've came up a couple of notches, like big time, and started to make some really worthwhile products, starting with the X32, you know, everybody knows that, on. And this is a part of that rebranding of the whole Behringer name. And it's a great interface. I'm going to do some testing with it now and let you hear it in this video. Check. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. This is my voice on the Behringer UMC 22 with an SM58 microphone. I'm going to switch the microphone now and allow you to hear a different microphone on this great unit. So here we go. We're going to switch the mic. Now you probably, hopefully, can hear. This is an EV ND257 on the Behringer UMC 22 unit. Again, we have switched the microphone, and I had to adjust my gain a little bit. My gain is set about 12 o'clock, a little bit past 12 o'clock. So now you are hearing the Electro Voice ND257A. This is an old microphone, but it's a good microphone from Electro Voice. And we're going to switch one more time and check the SM57 from Shure. You are now hearing the SM57 from Shure on my voice. I had to set my gain a little bit past 12 o'clock, and you're probably hearing a lot of plosives and things like that. So if you're going to use the SM58 as your, SM57 as your podcast mic, you might want to get a pop filter.